It's a Tuesday afternoon. You're sitting in a lawyer's office. Your mom just passed away. She spent her last 3 years in a nursing home. Dementia. You and your siblings always knew the house would be yours someday. $500,000 home. Paid off. 40 years of mortgage payments. The American dream. Your parents promised it to you. The lawyer slides an envelope across the desk. It's from the state. They're claiming $450,000 for your mother's care. They want the house. All of it. You stare at the letter. Can they do that? The lawyer nods. They already have. This isn't a scam. It's not a mistake. It's the law. A perfectly legal machine designed to seize middle-class wealth. And millions of American families have no idea it exists until it's too late. But what makes this financial tragedy even more painful is that it doesn't happen because of missing laws or loopholes. It happens because of a deep cultural and psychological block that prevents American families from acting before the trap closes. Let's talk about what actually stops families from protecting themselves. It's not ignorance, it's denial. In American culture, talking about aging is taboo. Talking about losing independence, even worse. Nursing homes, that's admitting defeat. Death, absolutely off limits. So when you sit down with your parents and suggest estate planning, creating a trust, protecting the house, they hear something else. They hear, "You're trying to steal from me. You want me to die. You think I'm incompetent." Elderly Americans see these conversations as a tax on their autonomy, so they refuse. They push it off. "We'll deal with it later. I'm fine. Don't worry about it." And the kids, they don't push back, because pushing feels disrespectful, feels greedy. So everyone stays silent. Until one day, Dad has a stroke. Mom falls in the bathroom. Emergency hospitalization. Straight to the nursing home. No warning, no plan. And when that medical emergency hits, the window to protect anything is already closed. Because now the family is introduced to the real villain of the American healthcare system. A bureaucratic trap that demands absolute poverty to unlock help, but ruthlessly bills you after the patient dies. Meet the Medicaid Estate Recovery Program, MERP. It sounds bureaucratic and boring. It's not. It's a predator. Here's how it works. Medicare covers basic healthcare for people over 65. Doctor visits, surgeries, hospital stays. But it does not cover long-term care, nursing homes, memory care, assisted living for years. That falls under Medicaid. Medicaid is technically for low-income people, but it's also the only program that pays for nursing homes, and those cost $8,000 to $12,000 a month. Most families can't afford that, so they turn to Medicaid. But there's a brutal eligibility requirement. Your parent has to be nearly broke, less than $2,000 in liquid assets, bank accounts drained, investments liquidated. But here's the exception that tricks everyone: the house. The primary residence is considered an exempt asset while your parent is alive. So they keep the house, qualify for Medicaid, move into the nursing home. Everyone thinks the crisis is over, the house is safe. It's not. Because the moment your parent dies, federal law kicks in. The state is required by law to recover every penny Medicaid spent. They file a claim against the estate. They put a lien on the house. The exemption disappears. And now the kids have to sell the family home to pay back the government. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Gone. But families think they can outsmart the system. We'll just transfer the house to the kids before mom goes into the home. Nice try. The government saw that coming decades ago, and they built a wall to stop you. It's called the 5-year look-back rule. When your parent applies for Medicaid, the state doesn't just look at their current assets. They audit everything. Every transaction, every sale, every gift, every transfer of property made in the 60 months before the application. 5 full years. If you transferred the house to your daughter 3 years ago, red flag. If you sold the farm to your grandson for $10, busted. Medicaid calculates the fair market value of what was given away. Then they apply a penalty. They deny coverage for a number of months equal to the value of the transfer.
Let's say you gave away a house worth $300,000 and nursing home care costs $10,000 a month. Medicaid denies you for 30 months, 2.5 years. No coverage, no help. You're stuck paying out of pocket. And most families don't have that kind of money. So they go into debt, refinance everything, destroy their own financial futures trying to cover the cost. All because they tried to protect the house and got caught by the look-back.
But even knowing about this 5-year trap, the law does offer a few rare exceptions to save the house. The problem? They're bureaucratic nightmares that almost no one can actually qualify for. There's one called the caregiver child exception. Sounds helpful, right? Here's how it works. If your adult child lived in your house for at least 2 years before you went into the nursing home, and they can prove that their direct physical care kept you out of the facility longer, the house can be protected. But proving it is hell. You need medical records, detailed care logs, doctor affidavits confirming that without your child's help, you would have been institutionalized sooner. Most families don't keep that kind of documentation. They just take care of their parents, informally, out of love, no paperwork. So when they try to claim the exception after death, the state denies it. Insufficient evidence, and the house goes to auction. There's a story on Reddit that haunts people.
A man in his 50s, never married, lived with his parents his whole life, took care of them as they got older, cooked, cleaned, helped them bathe, administered medications. His dad died. His mom went into a Medicaid nursing home. She passed 2 years later. The state sent him a letter. He had 90 days to vacate. The house, where he'd lived for 50 years, was being seized. He had no other home, no savings, no credit. He lost everything because he didn't formalize his caregiving role. And for families who don't qualify for that exception, the only way out is to hire expensive lawyers and set up complex legal structures, which means only the people who already have money can protect what's left. Enter the Medicaid Asset Protection Trust, MAPT. It's an irrevocable trust. You transfer ownership of the house into the trust. You no longer legally own it. You can't sell it, can't refinance it. You lose control. But the 5-year clock starts ticking. If your parent lives 5 years and 1 day after the transfer, the house is protected from Medicaid recovery. Sounds great, right? Except setting up a MAPT costs $5,000 to $10,000. You need an elder law attorney. Specialized, expensive. Wealthy families do this all the time. They protect million-dollar estates without breaking a sweat. But the middle class, the people who actually need this protection, they can't afford it. They don't have $5,000 sitting around to pay a lawyer 5 years before a crisis that might never come. So they do nothing. And when the crisis does come, it's too late. The system is designed to save the rich and crush everyone else. And the cruelty doesn't stop there. Because depending on where your parents live, the rules change completely. Federal law requires Medicaid estate recovery, but enforcement? That's up to the states. And the differences are staggering. In liberal states like California and New York, there are limits, protections, loopholes. They restrict recovery to assets that pass through formal probate. If the house transfers directly to heirs outside of probate, through a trust or joint tenancy, it might be safe. But in conservative states like Texas, they go hard. They expand the definition of estate to include anything the deceased ever touched. Joint accounts, transferred property, everything. Your parents' zip code determines whether you keep the house or lose it. It's a lottery, a legal lottery based on geography and politics. And just when you think the government is the only threat, private nursing homes enter the picture with their own predatory tactics. Your parent has a medical emergency. You rush them to a facility. The staff hands you a stack of forms, admission paperwork, insurance, medical history. You're panicking. Your mom is in pain. You just want her taken care of. So you sign. Fast. You don't read it. Nobody does. Buried in the fine print of page 7, a personal guarantor clause. By signing, you just agreed to pay all nursing home bills with your own money if Medicaid doesn't cover it. You didn't know. You weren't trying to take on debt. You were just trying to help your parent. But now you're legally liable. The nursing home can sue you, garnish your wages, take your house, all because you signed a document under duress without legal advice. It's a trap, and it's completely legal. This kind of predatory billing, both from the state and private corporations, reveals a horrifying moral contradiction at the heart of the American system. The harder you work, the more you lose. Here's the ugly truth. If you spend 40 years being financially responsible, paying your mortgage, saving money, building equity, the government punishes you. They take your house, seize your life's work. But if you spend 40 years renting, never saving, living paycheck to paycheck, blowing every dollar you make, Medicaid gives you the exact same nursing home for free. No recovery, no lien, no bill after death, because you have nothing to take. The system actively rewards financial irresponsibility and punishes thrift. The people who sacrificed, who delayed gratification, who believed in the American dream of homeownership, they get robbed, legally, by their own government. It's not a bug, it's a feature. And it only gets worse when you realize who this system is really designed to protect and who it's designed to destroy. So here's the final truth. Your parents' house can absolutely be seized. Legally, automatically. It happens every single day. The Medicaid Estate Recovery Program was designed to help the poorest Americans afford care. But in practice, it's become the single greatest wealth destruction machine aimed at the middle class. The rich protect their estates with trusts and lawyers. The poor have nothing to lose. But the middle class? The people who worked their whole lives, paid their taxes, saved for their kids, they lose everything. The house your parents spent 40 years paying off, it's not really yours.
It never was. It's conditional. And most families only find out after the funeral, after the bills, after it's too late. In America, protecting your family's wealth doesn't depend on how hard you worked. It depends on whether you had the courage to break the silence, face the fear of aging, and plan years in advance. Because by the time the nursing home bill arrives in the mail, the war is already over, and you've already lost.